10
We
years
got a
old.
very, what do you call that, a really productive or prolific church, lots of kids. So we're kind of growing the church from the inside and the outside.
I don't know, John, what do you want to try to do?
Well,
I'll
I mean,
do
if
an
you just
update.
want to do, I mean, I don't know, we may end up not even using this video, but just to
Yeah.
do a quick little, talk, you just stay right there. Just a little, ask you a couple questions about, kind of the history of the church. Talk about how much it's grown, what a big step it is for y'all to be able to move over here, that kind of thing. So,
Well,
so
yeah,
can you kind of give me that little rundown real quick?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we started 2008, August of 2008, so we're just turned 8 years old this week, which I didn't even think about that. The church was started by about 12 people with Pastor Dustin Bowles, moved here from Texas with his wife Natalie, and they first worship service that we ever held was in Dustin and Natalie's rented house in Ocean Springs. 19 people showed up. We moved it to my house the second week, about 45 people showed up. We moved it to a house in Biloxi the following week with about 65 people or so. And you remember the Mirrored Hall over there next to the Pizza Hut? We were there a couple weeks, broke all the fire codes, and then had to move over to the skating rink. And that's where we've been for the past almost 8 years. And I think the first week in the skating rink, we were probably running 400 or 500, and God's just blessed it and has grown from there.
And what is it that makes this church so popular? What?
You know, I think it's the fact that our mission, we started this church because there's 180,000 unchurched people on the Gulf Coast that don't know who Jesus really is. So that's our mission, is to share the good news of Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection with the Gulf Coast. And so the way we do that is we preach verse by verse through books of the Bible. We make Jesus as clear as possible. We preach him clearly and honestly. We want people to come and be themselves. We want to introduce them to Jesus. And if the real Jesus, if the real you meets the real Jesus, something special can happen. And we just love everybody that comes in the door. I think that's probably there's no secret, there's no special sauce. It's just preach the gospel and love people.
But you've tapped into something here. Do you have any idea?
I think that, again, it's just make Jesus clear. He's attractive enough, and love people. Accept people for where they are. Jesus will meet people where they are, and cool things happen when you trust Jesus to do those cool things.
Do you have a particularly diverse congregation?
I think we have a very diverse congregation. We have all ages. We have tons of white hair and tons of people who are single and not married yet, young families, 40s, 50s. We're pretty much all over the board from a demographic standpoint and socioeconomic standpoint. We have a very diverse congregation, I think, primarily because we have a very diverse staff as well. And I think that helps. But we want to look like the culture.
So the move here, how long has that been in the works?
About 2 years. It's been a 2-year process. We started, we contracted the building to purchase it. We had about a year to raise the money to purchase it. We did that. And then we had to arrange Charter Bank as our business partners who have financed the remodel. But we paid for our people rose up and paid for the building and the property.
Now, we were talking about this earlier, the coffee shop's gonna stay.
Java Joe's? Yeah, hopefully forever.
So tell me about that. So they become your leasee?
Yeah, they've been here since before we bought the property. They've been here a long time. They have great coffee. They do a great job. They're not open Sunday morning. They're open 6 days a week. They close, I think, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a perfect scenario. Our church loves coffee. I'm sure their business is it's already doing well, but I'm sure it's gonna do better.
And just kind of, can you get some numbers about this? What's the seating in your new worship area?
The main auditorium has about 1,100 seats. The chapel and the next section over has about 200 seats. So for overflow, we'll see 3,000 people on an Easter weekend. So if we need overflow seating, we can use the chapel for that. We can videotape the message in, broadcast it in via video if we need to. The biggest improvement for this property is the number of parking places. We have probably about nine parking places per 1,000 square feet, which is 50% higher than any code requires. We have about 350 to 375 parking places. Over where we're meeting now in the skating rink, we're very challenged in terms of parking. We compete with parking with about 6 or 7 businesses, and we are parking hogs. So I'm sure they'll appreciate us moving as well.
And talk about the improvement in your children's ministry.
Right now we're separated. We've got kids and little babies in one area, and our elementary school children are in the Flex Fitness, which is a couple doors down. And this puts it all together, our family ministry under one roof, 9,000 square foot of classroom and worship area for kids of all ages. And then we have a great student ministry that meets on Wednesday evening. About 100 kids, 100 high school and middle school students come together to meet currently, and we hope to see that grow as a result of the new facilities as well.